So everybody normally brakes with their right foot. So why do race car drivers always talk about braking with their left one? So a lot of you probably remember from driver's ed, an instructor giving you a hard time if you ever put your left foot anywhere near the brake pedal while you were learning. So why do racing drivers left foot brake? There's a lot of different reasons why you might left foot brake. Depending on the type of racing, sometimes it allows you to go faster by shortening the time it takes to move your right foot from the gas pedal to the brake pedal. You could be braking instantly with your left foot and not have to wait for that right foot to move. And then in rally racing, and especially ice racing, or anything where you're on a loose surface or you're trying to get the back of the car moving around, the left foot braking gives you a whole other level of control of the car. In ice racing, I use left foot braking for a number of reasons. I'm often switching from gas to brake very, very quickly, and I don't have time to move my foot from one pedal to the other. And sometimes you're pressing the gas and the brake at the same time, which might seem counterintuitive, but that really gives you an extra level of control with what the car is doing. Left foot braking is actually a lot more than just using your left foot. It's being able to use the brake in different stages of the corner while you might have your right foot busy on the gas. In fact, in ice racing, as I'm slowing the car down, like braking for a corner, I still have my foot on the gas a little bit, and what I'm doing is just making it a little bit less likely that I'm going to lock the front wheels and stall the car, because I like to brake with the car in gear so that I still have control to move it around and slide it around as I want. As soon as you put the clutch in, you lose a lot of that control. When you're braking for the corner, you're not braking in a straight line because you don't have any traction that way. You're braking with the car sliding sideways, which is the best way to slow a car down. If actually just even pitching the car sideways and sliding it sideways, you'll reduce your speed quite a bit. And then when you're braking at that point too, you're helping the car to stay sideways, which helps you scrub speed and also gets it pointed where you want to go. And when you're braking with your left foot and even giving it a bit of gas, basically what it's doing is it's locking the rear wheels and helping pitch the car. So you're slowing down and pitching the car sideways into the corner, which is how you set up a corner in ice racing. You don't just go straight, hit the brakes, turn left and get back on the gas like you do on road racing. You'd be going into the corner and then you're going to be flicking the car both ways and then eventually kind of using the momentum of the back of the car to get it sliding around and pointing straight. So that basically when you get to the corner, you're already pointing in the direction you want to go and you're just kind of driving right out of the corner rather than kind of constantly turning through the corner, which is very slow in ice racing. If you turn the car and hit the brakes at the same time, it'll actually make the back end slide even more. So that combination of brakes and steering gets the car sliding. And when it's really, really slippery, it's really hard to get the back end to slide around because the front doesn't have enough traction to kind of whip the tail around. So the braking kind of helps give you the balance you need to get the car rotating. In ice racing, you're doing this constantly. The traction's very, very limited, and the most efficient way to get the car moving around and getting it to turn is to be turning while you're on the brakes. So as you watch me doing a lap, you'll see that my left foot is actually quite busy on the brakes. In a standard, no less too. You can left foot brake in a standard, it's just that that left foot also has to operate the clutch. So you might find yourself having to switch feet and then move to the clutch with your left foot, or quickly let go of the brakes, clutch, and then move your right foot to it. There's, you know, it could get a little busy down there to make that happen. So this is what left foot braking looks like around a lap in an ice racer. Okay, so just coming out of the last corner of the previous lap and about to start a new lap. So here we're just going down the straightaway, past the start-finish line, and now I'm starting to pitch the car. So I'm going to pause the video here, and you can see my left foot's starting to cover the brake pedal. So as I'm trying to get the car sliding back and forth to set it up for the first corner, I am using my left foot on the brake to help bring the back end around, to help get the back end sliding, to get the car to rotate so that I get it positioned how I want. So now I'm getting the car positioned, and now I'm hard on the brakes in order to scrub speed for the corner. So now I'm turned in to the first corner, and I'm now going to modulate, I'm going to use brake and gas in order to try and keep my speed up, but also use the brake in order to get the car pointed in the direction I want and to help the car make it through the corner, because it keeps wanting to push wide normally. So here I am just applying a little bit of gas and brake and a lot of steering change just to get the car going where I want. And now I'm unwinding the steering and we're exiting that corner. So now we're back on the gas. So here we are going through the quick chicane, and on the exit of the chicane, I'm using the brake to kind of help pivot the car because it tends to want to go wide there. So if I can pivot the car a little bit, it sets me up for the last corner better. Going through the chicane, and now I am using the brake and the gas to get the car sliding a bit, and now I'm on the brakes in order to get the car slowed down. And now I'm modulating the gas and brake to help get the car pointed where I want through the corner. Exiting the corner now, and now it's just modulating the throttle, a little bit of brake here and there just to keep the understeer under control, and now we're back down the straightaway, going past the start-finish line. And that's a lap. So in other types of racing, there's different reasons why you might left foot brake. In road racing, if you have like a sequential transmission where you don't need the clutch, you leave your left foot for braking. That way, you don't have to take the time for your foot to come off the gas and then move over and hit the brake. It's just boom, left foot's going down on the brake, right foot's coming off on the throttle. So you could actually do your braking a little bit later. You can actually stay on the gas right to the braking point, whereas you're not losing that like quarter of a second of your foot moving from one pedal to the other. In front wheel drive cars, in road racing or auto slalom, people will left foot brake because the car is pushing, meaning that the front end doesn't want to turn. By using left foot brake, you're kind of helping move the weight forward to give the front a little bit more grip and potentially kind of locking up and loosening up the back wheels to get it to slide around and point the car where you want. Another time in road racing, even in a conventional manual car where you still have the clutch, there's some corners where you stay in the same gear but you're transitioning from left to right and braking and turning, and all these things are happening very quickly. So you might normally right foot brake, but for a few corners where you don't actually have to downshift or change gears, you could just left foot brake, which will, again, allow you to be on the gas that little bit longer, and it'll make you a little bit less busy in the cockpit too. Your feet aren't flying around, you're just kind of balancing your 2 feet and letting the left one do a bit of braking and then get right back on the gas. The other advantage of left foot braking is, in a corner, you kind of want to be on the gas or on the brakes a bit. You don't really want to just be doing nothing. So by kind of being able to quickly, or basically instantaneously switch from throttle to brake, the car can stay a little bit more stable in the middle of the corners if you have to brake into a corner. The hardest thing to get used to when you're left foot braking is that if you've been driving an automatic your whole life, your left foot has just been sitting there doing nothing. Or if you drive a standard, it's used to just pushing on the clutch and letting the clutch out. So your left foot is kind of used to doing things a lot more abruptly than it needs to for braking. So what you're going to find, say if you have an automatic, you could try left foot braking, and you'll find that probably the first couple times you do it that you just go like this because you've hit the brakes way too hard. So developing that feel and that smoothness and that kind of soft touch in your left foot is the hardest part. So that's the basics of left foot braking. If you have any interest in competition driving, especially ice racing or rally driving, left foot braking is a tool you definitely need in your skill set. So this weekend coming up, we're going to be at the second race weekend, and I'll have a video updating what happened there next Thursday. So click the subscribe button so you don't miss anything.